Okay, new month, new theme, creating a joyful life. Doesn't that sound great? Creating a joyful life. And you know, I got to stop naming these things, because every single time it does, it's like, life kind of makes you find it. It doesn't give you the joyful life. It just tells you, go look for it, go discover it yourself, because we're going to start out like this. And sometimes it's like anything but that, right? It's anything but that, there's conflict, there's yelling, there's people losing their minds and blaming you. There's all kinds of stuff, right? We try to find peace and there's no peace. We try to find love and there's no love. So here we are trying to find a joyful life, or at least trying to reveal a joyous life. And sometimes it just looks like anything but. We make friends, we lose friends. We change jobs, we change careers. We move again. We change states. We change states of mind. We change states of the union. We change everything, We're busy people. We're trying to find ourselves, or trying to find our passion, or trying to find our bliss. But what are we trying to find it for? I think that's really important. Trying to fit in. Are we trying to fit in? Why are we trying to fit in? Babies, when you were born to stand out. You were born to stand out. Let's not try to be something we're not. Let's not try to act a certain way to please other people. Let's not try to live up to someone else's expectation of us. Let's not try to change ourselves to try to be more acceptable to other people. You have to be true to yourself. We have to be true to ourselves, right? We can't live our lives to please other people. F them. Hey, wait a minute. I meant forgive them. What were you thinking? Guys. We have to forgive other people's expectations of us and live an authentic life. We have to forgive them. They know not what they do. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, "It is people that make people unhappy." It's not a spiritual principle that we be unhappy. Those who make up their minds to be unhappy will be unhappy until they make up their minds to be happy. And as long as we give away, as long as we give any other living soul the power to make us unhappy, just that long we will remain unhappy. Why? Because we pass our whole mental perspective and inner knowledge of life over to that other person. Don't do that anymore. We are born to be our authentic selves, to make manifest the glory of God as only we can do it, individually, uniquely as we are. So sure, find your passion. Discover your bliss, find your purpose, and express that. But not to please somebody else, or any person, or anything. And God, don't do it to try to fit in. That's death, let me tell you, from experience. That is slow, painful, soul-sucking death. Don't live for anyone's expectations of you. Live your own life. Find your own passion, find your own bliss, and dance to your own tune, because that is what the world and spirit wants from you. Howard Thurman said it. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So you want to create a life of joy for yourself? That's what you do. You don't do it by listening to other people. You don't do it by having other people tell you what to do or what to think or what to say or what to have. You do it by discovering your own passion, your own purpose, and living your own life. You create a life of joy for yourself by being true to yourself. Doing what you do, being who you are, and having what you want. We create a life of joy by giving our gifts. By giving our gifts. Living our own life and giving our own gifts, individualized, that only we can give. Rabindranath Tagore said, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I served, and behold, service was joy. That's what we're here to do. We're here to serve each other. Life is service. Service is joy. I know. And all this time you thought life was just collecting stuff, right? No, I'm only kidding. Because we all know people like that, right? That collect stuff. They spend their lives collecting stuff. Then they have a lifetime of acquiring stuff, and they're still not happy, right? You've seen that. I know you've seen it. I've seen it. Sometimes they're even less happy after they collect the stuff than they were before, because now they have to find somebody to watch their stuff. They've collected all this stuff, and now they have to protect all of their stuff. And then they have to make sure nobody takes any of their stuff. God, how dismal is that? They spend their entire life. Now they have to hire somebody to guard their stuff. Then they have to try to figure out ways to keep their stuff and get more stuff. You know, you can spend a lifetime doing that, and what have you got? It sucks. That's not what life is about. Life is not about that. Life is about service. It is about service. You know, that's the cure. The cure for sadness is service. You know that, right? When you're sitting in your stuff and you're having that pity party for one, please. You know that the only way to get out of your self-absorption and your pity is to do something for somebody else, right? You know how when you are of service, it makes you feel better? You know how when you do something for someone else, you just come away feeling better about yourself. You're more optimistic, you're more hopeful, you're happier than when you were sitting alone with your stuff, having your pity party. Dr. Albert Schweitzer said this. He said, "The only ones among you who will be really happy are those who sought and found how to serve." And I would believe him. He was a man of service. He was a great man of service, and he knows. It's true. It's true. And I'm in the service business. Ministers, we comfort the afflicted, and we afflict the comfortable. Just another service we offer. And so are you, okay? Who's an engineer? Anybody an engineer? Okay. You're in the service business. You create things, right? You figure out ways to make things better. Planes, trains, automobiles, cars, roadways. We do it in the service of mankind. We don't do it for ourselves, right? What about teachers? Do we have any teachers in the room? Teachers teach to educate the masses, right? People are better because they are well educated because of you. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, "The spirit is happy, whole, free, filled with joy, eternal in its existence, and can provide you with everlasting expansion. All your highest hopes and dreams have come from it. The echo of its being is in your intellect. The voice of its unspoken word is in your mind. And the feeling of its light and life is in your heart. The emotion of its imagination is in your soul. And all of that is demonstrated when we serve, as we serve." Anybody trash collector? Do we have any trash collectors? Oh my God, these people are heroes. You know, people who are the trash collectors, they're the heroes in life. I remember back in the 70s when the New York City teachers were on strike. And they were one of the things that really bugged was that the entry level starting salary for a teacher was lower than the entry level for the trash collector. And I heard the union rep describe it in this way. He said, "Well, when your kids are not educated, you don't know it for 20 years. But if your trash isn't picked up, you know the next day." And that's why. But see, there are all kinds of ways to serve. There are all kinds of ways to serve, not just your career, but it can be your career. Gina Walker gives us beautiful music, and she serves in that way, and it is a career. Our musicians, the same way. They give us beautiful music, and it is an act of service, and it is their career. But being of service, it doesn't only have to be your career. There are all kinds of ways to serve. Sitting and listening with a friend who's pouring their heart out to you, that's service. You're serving. When you buy a cup of coffee for a coworker, you're serving. When you let someone merge in on the freeway in front of you, you are serving. God, I hate that one. You know what? I used to want to be in the front. You know, it's like you just have to get on the freeway. You have to be ahead of everybody else. I always wanted to be in the front. But now I just merge onto the freeway and I just know I'm already a lap ahead of them. When you listen to someone's struggle, when you ease someone's burden, you're being of service. When you pass on something you no longer need to charity, you're being of service. When you pass on a smile, you're being of service. When you hold a good thought about someone, you're being of service. When you bless someone, either out loud or in your mind, in your thoughts, you're being of service. When you pray, you are being of service. Ernest Holmes said, "Law of life is law of thought, an activity of consciousness. The power flows through us. Spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. Unless we are able to provide the consciousness, it cannot make the gift. The power behind all things is without limit, but in working for us, it must work through us." So those places, like I was saying in the beginning, you know, the anger and the conflict and the stuff that doesn't look like joyful life, all that stuff, the places where we feel most hurt, most betrayed, most unloved, those are the places we are strongest when we heal them, when we do our work. When we do our work, those places heal. Healing is our birthright. Ernest Holmes said it. So where we're most disappointed or let down, that's where our healing is. Those places where we've been let down or abandoned or hurt, that is the place that most calls our forgiveness. Yeah, the F word again. That's the place where we're most called to allow that spirit that is really us to flow through us into the world. The place of our wounds are the places, when healed, where we can give the most. Because we know it from experience. We gain wisdom through the experiences. We can identify and facilitate the healing of those people around us because of the wounds that we have healed. See how that works? We can be the healing that the world is calling us to be because we've walked it. We've felt it, and we've done our work, and we've healed it, and now we can be that lighthouse for others. You know, they say about like religion is for people who are afraid of going to hell, but spirituality is for people who've been there. That's us. We can, through healing and doing our own work, be the facilitator for others. Our worst experiences can provide the inspiration for the healing of others. That's service too. Learning from our own experiences and healing our own wounds and doubts and false beliefs is the best part of who we can be for others. I've been hurt, lied to, cheated on. Oh God, who hasn't? You know, those are old stories, aren't they? They are old stories. God, everybody's been hurt somehow. But our experiences, the wisdom that we gain by going through what we go through, benefits others. When we do the work of healing ourselves, we become that place of healing for those of us, those around us. When we heal, we provide wisdom for others to heal. And so our service to the world is the life that we are living. See how that works? That's so beautiful. The highs and the lows and all of it can be used in the service to others. Our joy and showing up as the authentic self that we are can be an inspiration to others. The healing place in ourselves can be an inspiration to others. The work that we have done to be that more complete person can be an inspiration to others. The places that we have healed and grown and become even more of who Spirit wants us to be is an inspiration to others. Every experience that we have is a gift to others and a gift to ourselves. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, "What a great joy should accompany everything we do. An expectancy, a love. Love everything. Praise everything. Recognize all things, believe them, accept all things. There is a laughter of God. Let's laugh it. There is a song of the universe. Let's sing it. There is a hymn of praise. Let's praise it. There is a joy and a beauty. There is a deep, abiding peace. Let's experience it. Let's experience it. What I know is we keep experiencing the same parts of life until we truly heal them at the deeper level. They may show up in various forms. They may show up as different people. But what we hold true about life keeps reappearing over and over until we heal that false belief. You know, I'm glad that you had the memorial candle in Wayne Dyer. I know that Wayne Dyer had said, people who believe in a fearful world experience a fearful world. People who believe in a loving world experience a loving world. It's the same world. And it's true. And when we heal those things that keep us from experiencing that, that loving world, we keep experiencing the fearful world. In different forms, in different ways, but it keeps showing up. When we heal ourselves, we provide the space not only for our own greater yet to be, but for those around us. We become that light for others. And we give others the permission to shine around us and to do their own healing work. That is what we're here for. We're here to live and to be in service for each other and for ourselves and for the world. Truly, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service is joy.